Welcome to Escape the Box Piano, it's Dan here. In this video we are going to learn Billy Joel's Turn the Lights Back On. At the end of this video there's a full playthrough and also slowed down sections. However, firstly I'm going to walk you through the three main sections of this piece. Let's call them Section A, Section B and Section C. The piece is in compound time and has a 2 to a measure feel. The beat is 56 beats per minute. Feels like that. Section A is chord based. Section B is broken chords. Section C I think is designed to be improvised, but I'm going to give you something prescriptive to practice. If it's too complex, I'm sure you can find a simple version elsewhere. Section A then. Let's look at that hand separately. Right hand first. Here's middle C. Okay, fingers, thumb is 1, 2, 3, 4, little finger 5. Put your thumb on G below middle C, third finger on C, and fifth finger on E. We're going to play that chord 3 times. Okay, on to the next measure. Not travelling very far. Thumb now on A, second finger on C, and fifth finger on F. That chord twice. Third measure, again, not a very far travel here. Thumb back to G, third finger on B, fifth finger on D. That chord 3 times. Okay, next measure. Push your hand slightly further up so you can get your thumb on the G sharp, second finger on the B and fifth finger on the E. Next chord, keep the bottom 2 notes exactly as they are and simply swap out the fifth finger with your fourth finger on the D. Moving down, fifth finger now on C, third finger on A, thumb on E. Play that chord 3 times. Okay, again, push your hand up a little, get your thumb on the F sharp, second finger on the A, fifth finger on the D, play that chord twice. Travelling down a little, thumb now on the D down here, second finger on the G and fifth finger on the C. That's now going to resolve, keep the bottom 2 notes on D and G, swap out your fifth for the fourth finger on the B. Move a little bit further down, thumb on C, third finger on F, fifth finger on A. And then all the way down, thumb on B, third finger on E, fifth finger on G. In the left hand, here's middle C again. Mainly octave work here, thumb on 1 note, fifth finger on the octave below, C in this case. That then moves up to F, up to G, down to E, all the way down to G sharp, up 1 step to A. Next chord, close your hand in a little, we're going to play F sharp with the fifth finger, D with the thumb, stretching back out, G and G, F, and then E. Putting hands together slowly. I'll write out the structure a little later, but suffice to say, section A there, you play once over as an introduction to the entire song. That section plays twice for each verse. So at the beginning of the song, you have that section 3 times over, once as the introduction, and then immediately after twice as verse 1. Section B is the chorus, effectively. And harmonically, apart from pretty much the very end, it's effectively the same harmony as section A, but instead of playing block chords, you're playing broken chords. Something like this. Let's look at that in a little more detail. That first chord from section A, G, C and E. You're simply going to play that as a broken chord. That means the individual notes played one after the other, and this is the pattern. 6 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you play that pattern again. On to the next measure, take that chord, thumb on A, second finger on C, fifth finger on F, play it broken. Down to our chord of G major, G, B and D, again broken. Up to the next chord, G sharp, B and E. Next chord, G sharp, B and D. Down to our chord of A minor, E in the bass, so second inversion, A with your third finger and C with your fifth finger, play it broken. Okay, next chord we're actually going to play D, A, D, and then bring that down to C and A, D. Swap out your fifth finger onto the C, second finger on the G now, stay with the thumb on the D, and then B, G, D. Moving down to your chord of F, A, F and C. And previously in section A you moved down, here we're going to move up to B, G and D. And then section B repeats at that point. In the left hand, again, it's kind of, the right hand is underpinned with octaves. C, F, bring it up the octave, G, again, up an octave, E, G sharp, A. Now just play F sharps as an octave. G, and then F, finally G. Putting those hands together, and for the chorus, section B, it repeats, so 2 rounds of that section. There's a short 4-measure bridge between the end of the chorus and back into the next verse, which looks like this. It sort of looks like the beginning and then the end of section A. Okay, now think the end of section A. takes you to there, and then you're into verse 2, which is another 2 rounds of the full section A. Section C then, as I said at the beginning, it's meant to be improvised, but we're going to look at something prescriptive here. It's blazingly fast. It's the closest that I can figure out based on the studio recording of this piece. I'll play it, then we'll look at it slowly. It's in slow and with visualization at the end. Either go with it or look for something a little simplified elsewhere. Okay, note for note then. Here's middle C, 2 octaves up, 5th finger on C, 2nd finger on G. Okay, A, G, E, 4th finger over onto the D, 3rd finger on C, A, G, over the top, use that as a pivot. 2nd finger and 5th finger on the D and the A, then E, and then C, E and A again, very quickly, E, D, A, E and A, F, D, A. We'll look at the left hand separately, however it does come into play and takes over on that A and plays an A and an F sharp. And melodically that sounds like a continuous thing. The left hand at that point moves to F sharps and we continue with the right hand. Let's keep looking at the right hand. E, F sharp, D, B, A, F sharp. Okay, all the way back up to the top, B, A, G, and then D, B, A, G. Again, over the top of yourself, D and G, E, B, D, D. Use your 4th finger because now you've got 3, 2, 1, free for the B, A, G. Up to D and G, E, C, G. Pretty much the same thing an octave higher up, G, G and D, E, C, E and G. Same chord again, followed by a D and a C. C, F and A, G, A, F, A, C and E as a chord, followed by E, D, E, C, D, G and C, and then D, and then D, G and B, D, G, D. That last little section over again. And then finish on a full chord of D, G and B. Let's look at the left hand support. A, up an octave, D. This is where the left hand takes over with that A and F sharp, and then octave F sharps, all the way down to G, jump up the octave, play it twice, then E, and then G, and then hop back up to C, again, then up to E, F, down down to G and then up to A, back down to G, that last little bit again, and then instead of back down to G, up here to G. Really slowly, hands together. Potentially quite a neat way of getting the speed up on this once you're past the initial learning of the notes individually and just trying to get that rhythm established. Remember that 56 beat per minute metronome mark I told you at the beginning? Okay, that's kind of think triple that, which is 168 beats per minute, is kind of that's the eighth note beat, and so that's insanely fast. So take that 168 and now think in terms of that level of beat, so the eighth note, and slow it down to something like, let's say 90. So let's start with 90. Here's 90, and a performance with the rhythm intact at that speed. Coming out of the section C solo, you go back effectively to section A, a slightly modified version. Again, that section A is played twice over, so actually the first time it's played, it's the same. Section A again, but there's slight variation here. Same so far. Okay, here we go. Third time you play the chord in the right hand, step down to the G natural in the left hand. Sounds a bit ugly and muddy in isolation, but it's a part we're passing through that quite quickly to get to, and notice I'm playing the octaves here rather than F sharp and a D, just play F sharps down here. And then swap that chord out for a chord of D major here, D, F sharp and A. Up to G. And then you're going to break the chord rather than you're going to do this instead. Same with the next chord, and then instead of down to the E minor, back up to the G and break it. So that modified section A again. And then you're into section B. Section B, final chorus here, plays through twice more. etc, etc. You get to the end of that, and then just finish on a chord of C major and go right down. If you've got a full 88 note keyboard, use the C right down there. It gets a really nice thick rich texture, and chord of C major in here, up here, G, C and E. So the ending becomes just hold that and let it fade away a little bit and then release. Well, I hope you found that walkthrough quite useful. Here's the playthrough.